Hey Elvis friends. So this is a recording about, this is a video about Elvis recording in his den, and specifically about that landing that I was hinting at in a previous video. So I'm going to tell you all about that in this video. So looking at this particular image, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the den and the landing. First of all, these large major stairs here go to an outside deck, a second floor deck, which I'll talk about subsequently in a later image. But the landing here, this is a one-step landing up from the den or the jungle room into the kitchen area. So this is what I'm going to focus on today, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on some of the other elements so that you can see where the den is located with respect to Graceland. Now looking at the back of Graceland, so this all has to do again with Elvis recording in his den and what that landing has to do with him recording in the den. So if you'll see here, you'll see the back of Graceland, and there's obviously the big van vehicle from RCA when they showed up to Elvis's home in February and October of 1976 to do some recordings in his den. So again, this is the back of Graceland, and you'll see a swing set there which belonged to Lisa Marie. You'll see what I have encircled here. This is a little extension off the back of the home, and that staircase I showed you previously, that led up to this little area. So this allowed access to that deck. So to the left of this oval, you'll see a window, but to the right, that is where there is a door that allows you to access this second floor deck. And here is that deck. It's a pretty long deck. It is obviously an outdoor deck. Priscilla had mentioned, I think it was this past Elvis week, that they hardly ever went out onto this deck. But what is so interesting to me about this area is that this pink oval is where Lisa Marie's bedroom was. And you'll see there is a door from her bedroom to access this deck. So I know they had security gates on all doors and windows, so I don't think they were too concerned about little Lisa escaping from that door onto the deck. As a parent, that would make me a little nervous, but again, I'm sure they had lots of security and kept that gate on that door very secure. So looking over on the other side, on the south end of the home, you'll see these double windows, and these are windows where Elvis's office was located. And then here you'll see two windows, and the window on the left is, I'm about 99.9% sure, because there's never been an image taken of it, but this is the bathroom. This is the bathroom that you could access off of Elvis's study. And Linda Thompson, this was her main bathroom where she dressed and I believe kept her clothes, and Ginger Alden as well. And one interesting piece of information in her book, Elvis and Ginger Alden wrote that in 1977, her and Elvis discussed redecorating the home, and he asked her what her favorite colors were, and he surprised her by having this bathroom redecorated. So that's an interesting little story, which you can read more about in her book. And these two double windows on the first floor, this is where Gladys and Vernon had their bedroom, and later it became Elvis's grandmother's bedroom. He called her Dodger. And what you'll see here in the other pink oval, this would be Gladys's bathroom, and again later Dodger's bathroom on that first floor. And here in the light green circle, we see Elvis's music room, where if you are able to go on the Graceland tour, you'll see that the piano is in this room, what is typically referred to as the music room. So again, this is when RCA was recording, and the first session occurred on February 2nd through 8th, 1976. And there was a second recording session October 28th through 30th, 1976. And obviously you cannot directly see the den, but it is right behind, in other words, the RCA van. is blocking the den. The den is a very large room. It was originally, when Elvis bought Graceland, it was an outdoor patio. And then after he returned from the Army in 1960, I believe they had it enclosed and screened in. And then in 1965, they did some more major renovations, and that is when they fully enclosed it to become his den. And then the jungle-themed furniture and carpeting, that was done in 1974. So the recordings in 1976 occurred in the den. And one of the first albums, well, the first album to emanate from those recording sessions was from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. A lot of people, because it says recorded live there, mistakenly assumed that this album was recorded during a concert. So it was not. It was just recorded live at Graceland in his den. It was his 23rd studio album, and it was released May 16, 1976. And here are some of the songs on side A. You have Hurt, Never Again, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Danny Boy, The Last Farewell. Side B was For the Heart, Bitter They Are, Harder They Fall, Solitaire, Love Coming Down, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. There is so much to say about this album, and I'll probably do some future videos just specifically about some of these albums, but this one did reach Billboard's #1 position on the country music album chart and number 41 on the Billboard chart. It was certified gold after Elvis passed away October 10, 1970. Okay, so the second studio album to emanate from those recording sessions was Elvis's final studio album, so 24th and final studio album. And again, studio refers to the fact that it was recorded in his den at Graceland. And it was released July 19, 1977. It did reach gold and platinum on September 12, 1977, and then double platinum in 1992. So most of these songs, again, emanate from the recording sessions. There are a couple of songs that were recorded from the February 1976 session that were on this album, which is Moody Blue and She Thinks I Still Care. And there were actually some songs that they did use from recordings from the tour, and those are listed on the album, which includes Unchained Melody, If You Don't Love Me, and some more. But most of the, I think 4 actual recordings came from the October 1976 session. So again, 4 from the October session, 2 from the February session, and the rest they actually took from tour recordings. Okay, so since we're talking about the album Moody Blue, I thought I would share my personal copy of the album that I purchased in 1977. I was actually 10 years old, and on obviously August 16, 1977, it was a day, as I'm sure it was for many of you all, where you just remember exactly where you were, and in many cases you just remember everything around you, the room you were in, who told you, how you reacted. At least for me, that's the way it is. It's just a photographic image. I remember exactly who told me. I just remember the room I was in. I remember all the furniture that was in that room. And I just remember screaming, crying, running upstairs, and just being terribly upset, as so many of us were. And obviously after that date, again, I was 10 years old. I asked my mother for so many different things, and I definitely wanted to get this album. So this, again, is my personal copy of Moody Blue that my mother purchased for me in 1977. And I keep it in a plastic protective cover. And obviously, Unchained Melody, according to those who were around Elvis the morning of August 16th after playing racquetball, Unchained Melody and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain were the 2 songs that he sang that morning. So here are the other songs on that record. Okay, so getting back to that landing and what is unique about it, again, I learned this when I was standing here actually on the same landing. And this microphone is I told you in a previous video, this was Elvis's microphone that he used in Las Vegas at the International Hotel in August 1969. But what Angie Marchese and Alicia Dean shared with us is the landing that I'm standing on is the landing that Elvis would stand on when he recorded in the den. Okay, so here is something I thought that would be fun to do. So again, this landing right there, where the arrows pointed to, is where Elvis stood when he did those recording sessions in February and October of 1976. So I applaud all of you who knew that fact. I feel ashamed that I did not know that fact. However, now that I do know that fact, I can actually visualize when I'm listening to these songs or any song, from these two albums. And by the way, there's an album released in 2016 called Way Down in the Jungle Room. That's a compilation of all the masters and outtakes. I highly recommend it. It provides some really great, casual commentary that Elvis makes. It's just priceless to me. I love listening to it. So again, now that I know Elvis stood on this landing, I can visualize it and I can imagine it, and I love that. So also just visualize Charlie Hodge standing there, James Burton, and I do not know where each of these individuals were positioned. The drummer Ronnie Tutt, I have a good idea, but James Burton, obviously lead guitar, John Wilkerson, rhythm guitar, Jerry Sheff, bass guitar. You have Kathy Westmoreland on vocals, lovely Myrna Smith also on vocals. You have J.D. Sumner and his quartet. You have Glenn Hardin, piano, although it looks like that's a keyboard there, but he's on piano. David Briggs, electric piano. Ronnie Tutt, drums. And there are others, obviously. Billy Sanford was lead guitar in some of the songs. Norbert Putnam, bass guitar. You have other sounds, technicians, Felton Jarvis, producers. So it's just really fun to imagine what it must have been like when they were just recording. So fun stuff. Hope you enjoy that little visual. And also what's so interesting to me is that in 2013, Lisa Marie Presley actually recorded or performed in the den. So how lovely is that? I know Elvis was smiling down from heaven when that happened. Okay, so thank you everybody. Love making this video for you. Please send me an email if you have any questions. And as always, have a wonderful day and just stay safe. Until the next time.